Start there. That's good. How's everybody doing who might be watching? Grab this. Grab that. Hey, notifications. What a rare treat. All right. Get started here when everybody starts piling in. If anybody shows up, that is. You know, it's kind of a busy sports night. I think the NBA came back this evening. So that's, of course, a big deal. Hey, what's up? What's up, Janelle? Hey, we're already off to a good start with 4 likes. Yeah, I'm a little late. I apologize. And it's pretty good. Live before 10, though. Not too bad. Not too bad. Gotta skip that. It's been a pretty crazy week, I would say, in terms of speculation in the NFL. As we're starting to see a couple teams, you know, that are starting to kind of realize their season's probably sunk. And there's really, I have to do something real quick with my phone. The display won't go away. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's because I said it weird. What's up, Jacob? How you doing? Just slowly getting started here. You're in and out for sure. Yeah, no, I understand. It's kind of a big night. There is the ALCS going on. Basketball's back. I believe hockey's on. So I understand. Yeah, I don't expect big numbers tonight, if in all honesty. But I mean, hey, if people show up, that'd be cool. You know. Why isn't that working? That's a first. There we go. That was weird. Chat wasn't working on my screen. Not looking forward for Sunday night. Why not? Oh yeah, you guys play the Dolphins. The Steelers do. Yeah, that's gonna be a nightmare. Boss lady in Detroit frustrated. Which boss? Oh, Sheila Ford Hampus. Did the Pistons wind up winning that game? I know they were up late, but I didn't see the end. The Pistons eat a fat W. Yeah, it sounds like Odell's picking between the Chiefs or the Bills, it sounds like. And it seems like the Chiefs are the leading candidate to sign Odell at this current point in time. It sounds like he's heading to Kansas City, but we'll see. It seems like it's kind of narrowed down to those two teams, right? Yep, Claypool's on the rumor mill speculation block. Oof. Well, Lions better start playing defense or something. It's like, eesh. Who would have thought that the Patriots loss really would have shook the whole core of the Lions? We're not even a bad team. Why are people so mad when they lose to us? Yeah, Bourne, Aguilar, Christian McCaffrey, Robert Quinn. Mathis. It's a number of people that are probably like then you can look at the Panthers and then look at like maybe DJ Moore, Brian Burns. Hold on a second. Shaq Thompson. For some reason, I'm dealing with internet problems again. I don't know why that's doing that. We'll just drop it a little bit. Oh well, we'll just do that. Hopefully that'll fix it. Still shocked that you beat the Bucks. Yeah, that was a shocking win for you guys. See, if you're a team like the Panthers or the Bears, though, we've seen this work for other teams. I'm going to kind of talk for a second quickly about why I think the Panthers and the Bears or a number of these other bad teams like the Steelers this year should look to trading anybody they could trade and acquire as many first round draft picks as like humanly possible with that. Look exactly like you literally don't have to look much further than what the Bears or what the Jets have done with all those draft picks. And like, if you remember, oh my God, what is this? Why is this doing this? My internet's just been acting like really shitty the last few days. I'm not really certain as to why. Did this last stream too, where it just decided to just skip a bunch of frames and blah, 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 blah. But basketball bores the shit out of me. Hockey is better. Can't believe. Yeah, I don't really watch NBA. I don't know. But anyway, really quickly, back on that. I think it's not a bad idea if you're a bad team with very talented players to ship every single one of them guys away for first round picks, second round picks, multiple firsts. Because like if you're the Panthers, you could trade Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Brian Burns, and you could get like, I don't know, an entire future from that. In 2 years, you could be one of the better teams in the NFL if you do it right. Look at the way the Jets have done it. Look at the Dolphins. You don't think like the reason that those two teams are suddenly like surging from the depths of hell are because how many first round picks have the Dolphins had? How many first round picks did the Jets have the last couple years? And again, they've had to do unpopular things like trading Jamal Adams, trading this guy, trading that guy, trading really good players that you shouldn't really have to get rid of. But it's like when you fail a build, the number one option is to just flush it down the toilet and rebuild it. That's why, like, well, Robbie Anderson, that was like they just took what they could get for Robbie Anderson. Let's be particularly honest about the Robbie Anderson situation. They were lucky to get anybody for that. There's a way you can kind of look at something and kind of just tell where there wouldn't be a trade or anyone to trade for. Should there have been a like if it wasn't the Panthers taking a sizable loss on the trade. I mean, that was like he wasn't ever going to play for the Panthers again. That's quite obvious. I think it was obvious anyway, right? Like, how much are you really about to give away for a player that's potentially about to be cut in a matter of moments? Oh, damn, we're down to one person watching. I think YouTube's doing that thing where they fuck me on live viewers again. Unless there's really just one person watching. If so, then I don't... Is it just you, Mike? Might just be us here. YouTube has said one. I don't know why it does that to me so consistently. See what I mean? There's probably the full 8 people that were here just a second ago. But every so often, YouTube just cuts me down to one live viewer. Don't know why it does that. It's like, oh, this stream has momentum. Let's kick the legs out from underneath it. So if you're watching, leave a like, because I'm yellow badged and YouTube showing one person watching. So it's pretty crazy. It might be 2 people. It might just be chasing. Oh, now it's back up to 4. Who knows how many people are watching? The world may never know. It's a big mystery. It's a secret. YouTube's policy with me, it's like, Still don't know what I have said in this stream that would be worthy of a yellow badge. Very curious. Anybody there? Or is it just not showing me chats again now? Like it was doing earlier. Man, my channel's all fucked up all the time. There might only actually be like no one watching right now. I don't know. No one's talking, so it's kind of hard to tell. Might end the stream. I don't know. I don't really know if anyone's watching. Oh, okay. There's at least one person here. Jesus, dude, this is so confusing. Wonder why it does that. It really throws me off the whole stream. Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins didn't capitalize on the picks, I would say. Is it like super delayed or something? Is that why like no one's? No, okay, that's good. No, it's pretty solid. I don't know. Didn't they? Yeah, they haven't really done anything with them picks, have they? I was gonna say, I think they just drafted offensive. Oh my god, of course my nose is gonna start bothering me now too. Just a super frustrating stream so far. Like, all right, let's have a itchy nose now for the next 2 hours. All right, cue that. First time all day. Man, that sucks. Yeah, I think so. Damn, this stream is dead as fuck, dude. I don't know why YouTube does this. The one person. Oh, now it says 0. All right, well that's fun. Whatever. Seems like every like non-reaction stream I do, this happens now, and it's very confusing. It's like, why is every stream I do that's just a hangout stream just fucking broken? And it hasn't gotten a new viewer in since I've gone live. Damn, that's crazy. Guess it's already killed in the algorithm. That's pretty fun. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. What's up, Nicholas? Kind of I don't really know how many people are really here. Well, he's got what, a bad hamstring or something like that he's having a bunch of like X-rays and scans done on and all kinds of other like mumbo jumbo, I guess you would say. I don't know. I could swear like I didn't say anything while watching the game, but it's very obvious in that last Broncos game, if you're watching it, there's a very clear moment where he starts limping around and can't run anymore. And I'm like, did he start running, then hurt his hamstring, and then just kind of play through a really bad injury? I think there's something wrong with his hamstring. I think when he started running, because like it suddenly went like Russell was running a lot in that game, and then he stopped, and then he couldn't throw well anymore either. So I'm like, well, what's going on here? Why all of a sudden did it go from he could throw and he could play well to, you know? What's up, Daniel? That's weird. There's clearly more people, and I just keep losing. It's back down to 0 again. Very confusing. Oh, the Pistons did win? Well, that's good. Always good to hear that. Always a good thing. I don't know how more people are showing up and it's saying there's less and less people every time. That's a very confusing thing. Flores? Kind of depends on how the Dolphins do, I would say. Because if the Dolphins do worse than they were doing under Flores, then I would say then yeah, he probably will. But right now, I don't know, maybe. He's got that lawsuit with the NFL. Like, I don't know who's going to get fired. Maybe Dan Campbell might. You never know with Josh McDaniels. They might throw his ass to the curb real quick. I think Frank Reich is like a really weird outside candidate to get fired this year, but we'll see. Well, see, he's not really... That was weird, isn't it? Because he left the Dolphins and shit got really messy. And then the whole lawsuit. Yeah, I don't know if a team's going to want to hire him, but I mean, the Steelers brought him in, so he's still clearly a valued mind in the NFL. I don't see Cliff as a mid-season firing type. I don't really see the Cardinals as a team. I don't know. They let Wilkes finish out the season after his really bad year, so I think they're a team that that'll at least let him finish the season. But Panthers have an open position. Got a feeling they're not going to go hire. I don't know. They might. I don't know. Do you think they're going to hire a defensive, minded football head coach? That's always the one thing you got to ask yourself. It's like, well, what direction do you actually see a team? Because like Flores is a defensive oriented coach, so I don't know. Those guys are kind of. I feel like hiring a defensive minded head coach is pretty. I don't know. I unless you have a very strong offensive coordinator that has almost no desire to ever become a head coach, I don't really see that working out. Yeah, that's probably why you want a stronger offensive-minded head coach, right? So one that can build up an offense and kind of, plug in a bad quarterback and make him at least functional. Look at the Giants right now. They have a phenomenal defense with a great defensive it's easier to find a great defensive coordinator that'll stick around and not want to be a head coach or just won't work as a head coach than it is to find a good offensive coordinator that won't also one day be a good head coach. Like look at the Bills. I mean, they lost Dabble, and Dabble's now a great head coach with a mediocre quarterback, and he can do stuff to maximize that bad offense. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Whereas you can just hire defensive coordinators, and for the most part, those guys never get really much head coach love. It's just so weird. Or you have guys like Wink Martindale who seem to have zero interest in being a head coach and just loves scheming from the shadows. It's like a weird thing. Or they've tried to be head coaches and it was just a miserable failure. They're like, no, that's not for me. Guys like Matt Patricia are good examples of guys who I shouldn't have did that. Being trash, Wink Martindale make it a shot since he was the fall guy with Baltimore. Yeah, I understand that, but also I don't think Wink Martindale wants to be a head coach. He may have that energy where he's I don't really want to do anything but be a defensive coordinator, because there's no way he's gone this long in the NFL with zero. I've never heard him even interview for a job. Isn't that Nathaniel Hackett might be one of those? Yeah, Hackett. I don't know. He might get better though. It all depends on how the next few weeks go for them. Sean Payton. Yeah, Sean Payton's probably a pretty good candidate when he's the Chargers' next head coach next year. You guys think that they're going to fire that dude out there in the fuck city is that? Los Angeles? Hey, what's up, Adam? How's it going, buddy? I'd laugh if Patricia got another head coach job as an offensive-minded head coach. That would be it's the greatest turnaround in sports history, Chase. That Patricia going from a vaunted defensive coordinator to maybe a really good offensive coordinator for no particular reason whatsoever, and it makes no sense. It makes the most sense that he works as an offensive coordinator, right? Sure. He only had Matthew Stafford. He couldn't get to work, but okay. Give him a rookie quarterback, and shit, Matt Patricia's a goddamn genius. Who would have thought? Give him way less to work with than New England, and boy, oh boy, you got yourself a genius. I don't understand it. Yeah, I think Brandon Staley is probably going to be fired, and I think then Sean Payton's going to be like, well, if you guys need a coach, I could probably coach a little old Los Angeles Chargers. Don't twist my arm. It's very difficult. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, what a job to step into. Licking wounds, we can't beat man coverage. You guys got I don't know, the Bills are just cracked right now. They're going to be really hard to beat this year. I'm guessing you're streaming the Pittsburgh game. Yeah, I'll be doing Sunday night. Yep. I think I was one of the few people that wasn't overhyping the AFC West. I was I'm not sold on Denver. I'm not really that sold on the Raiders. The Chiefs are really going to win the division outright. And then there's the Chargers, who will probably suffer to the Chargers curse. And so far this season, they've suffered to the Chargers curse. Everybody gets hurt, and they just poorly coach themselves out of wins. I mean, isn't that every Chargers season you've ever watched football except like 3 times, and then they lost to the Patriots in the playoffs in grand fashion every single time? Tell me that's not the last 20 years of Chargers football I just summed up in about 15 words. That's literally the Chargers every single season for the Chargers. It's, wow, look at that fucking oh, everybody's hurt. Or it's, look at that roster. Look how many wins there are. Nobody's going to stop the Chargers. Playoffs, Patriots, loss, season end. Tell me I'm wrong. But again, they're like, yeah, they should be better. Like if they go get it, like I just don't. It's baffling the state of the Chargers versus what they actually probably should be. I think Patricia being the OC during camp and preseason was just a meme. Did not actually see him doing it. Well, the thing with really quickly with Matt Patricia, he's not technically the offensive technically. The only coordinator we have is like Bill Belichick as the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. We have 2 guys. You have, I think Joe Judge is like the passing game coordinator, and Matt Patricia calls plays. That's kind of how the offensive system is set up. And I think Joe Judge is a quarterback coach. I don't know. And then defensively, we have a defensive play caller in Steven Belichick, and Gerard Mayo coaches the position groups. So it's not even like a traditional like what you're thinking of like coordinators. I don't actually think New England has coordinators. Matt Patricia just calls plays. I think I don't know what that is. He just calls offense. I don't know. Steven Belichick calls defense. It's one of them situations. You know what I mean? The Patriots are phasing off of traditional shit like coordinators and positions. I don't know. It's a very confusing thing. You know how one of the things I've noticed is every single team is going to a bend, don't break defense, which is what the Patriots have been doing for about 15 years, where it's let's get that ball on the short side of the field, use the end zone as like another defender, use a short field as a 12th guy, basically. Very smart defensive game plan. I think the Patriots are actually pivoting off that, and we'll see what they're doing, because I've noticed something different. I'm not really certain as to what it is yet, but I don't think we're doing bend, don't break anymore, but it is still a big part of the defense. Hypothetically, if Bill retires, do you think it goes to his son or Mayo? Right now, my gut feeling would be Gerard Mayo. Or fucking Patricia. I know, as bad as that may sound, but unironically, I think Matt would work in New England, but him or Mayo probably. Steven's just a little too young still. But then again, I could also see because Jonathan Kraft is going to be the next guy to hire a head coach. We hope that Bob's alive, but it's one of them things where it's like it really just depends on what Jonathan Kraft. I mean, we could go Steven Belichick. He seems like a very competent coach. Like that's the thing. As bad as like nepotism that is, I mean Belichick. I mean Steven has earned his role. I mean he's a fucking. I mean has the Patriots defense not been great under this guy? Huh? Minus that playoff game. 3 AFC teams are making the playoffs and 3 NFC East teams are making the playoffs. Yeah, who would have thought the NFC and AFC East would be 2 of the better divisions in all of the NFL right now? The only bad team out of those 8 possible teams from the Eastern divisions is the Commanders. That's it. They're the bad team. Jets are above 500. The Dolphins are 500. The Patriots are 500. The Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL. The Eagles have the best record in football. Dallas is 2 losses. Giants are 1 loss, and that's it. That's 7 really solid football teams so far this season. Yeah, I threw the Patriots in there just because they've been playing really good the last couple games. Can't really discount their defense, or the run game that they're exhibiting. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Bills, Dolphins, if Tua healthy, and Patriots. Yeah, the Jets are an interesting team. I kind of want to talk about them for a little bit. Are they real or what the fuck is that? I mean, they're obviously a good. They're like they're clearly a talented young team, and if you're not very careful, they'll beat you. But like, are they good? Are they just like decent now? Because like it's like what are we looking at with the Jets? I'm very curious what other like because I don't know what to make of the Jets. I'm like, oh, is Gangrene back? Oh, this is fucking intimidating. I think the Jets are legit. Well, you want to kind of be careful with second and third year quarter, like until they get to that third year. Because again, Wilson does have a ton of promise, right? Great arm, great mobility, does show moments of being like a brilliant young quarterback, but he fucks up a lot. But again, you gotta. Offensive line was fucking dog shit the last year. Last year was kind of a wash. I don't know. I think we give Wilson another year. Of course, you want to do that. But again, you have a short leash in year 3. If the guy just sucks, pull him. I mean, but man, oh man, is this like again? They've built up a very, very good defense. They probably have the best duo of young corners under 25. Who's the other corner they have? Like he's very young but very good. Not Sauce Gardner, but oh Jesus Christ, who's the other corner? Like they have two very good young corners, and they're both under 20. I think they're both like rookies basically. Mosley? No, yeah, mate. No, he's the linebacker. It might be Reed. Yeah, it might be. But like they got two guys with like their outside corners are unreal. He does, but right now it's defense and run game. Yeah, make Zach Wilson read, and he's fucked up. Change up some looks, and yeah, DJ Reed. That's who it is. Yeah, like again, I think the Jets are about a year away. And if you're the Bills, man, that's got to be the biggest bummer of like your entire life. It's like, all right, we're finally good. And then you look and it's like, oh no, Miami's really good now too all of a sudden. What happened? At least the Patriots are going to be bad the rest of the way through. Oh, they got two really good young How did they do that? How did they have a quarterback controversy and Mac had one of the best rookie seasons of all time? How the fuck did they get lucky twice like this? And they've rebuilt their fucking defense. This seems a bit unfair. And then you look at the Jets and go, oh, great. Let me guess, they're going to be good in a couple of years. You got to kind of feel bad for the Bills. They thought they were about to have like a 20-year reign atop the AFC East. Like it was just like what you get. You get at least a decade atop the division when you become good. Yeah, the Packers. Yeah, Zach Wilson is definitely their Achilles heel, much like Mark Sanchez was years ago. If they had a veteran winning quarterback that didn't fuck everything up, they'd probably win a lot of games. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, that team could be very dangerous. If they had Geno Smith as the starter, they'd win a lot of games. Oh boy, would that be a winning football team, and they'd be terrifying because their defense is really good. It's very close to what the Niners had. It's like almost. It's like you can see like what he's doing to like build that defense into the Niners defense. It's like, oh, okay. It's a little bit more focused on stopping the pass. But again, I think when you play in the AFC, it's a lot more important maybe to not focus on so much on. Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that in a second too. Not so much focus on the front and stopping the run and stuff, which is a little bit more prevalent in the NFC. I guess when you play the Patriots, though, that could be an issue. But again, his stopping the pass has been very good. Yeah, Quinnen, I don't even know. He fucking changed Quinnen Williams. Like, he turned him into an absolute monster, which is pretty par of the core for Robert Salah. You could tell he's a lot more hands-on with the defense this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but and again, you can tell that Robert Salah has, for whatever reason, last year, it didn't feel like the Jets defense had his like imprint on it. It was like, dude, why are you just not like letting the offense do its thing? Like hire a competent coordinator, and and then they went and hired LaFleur's brother, which was a good move. So CMU is hella represented in coaching. It was shocking Salah didn't go to Detroit. I think a lot of people, I wanted Salah in Detroit. I think we did a lot of streams back in the day about how bad we thought he was coming home. Again, you do know though, the thing, okay, so one of the most unfairly treated teams right now has to be the Detroit Lions. And it's mainly by Lions fans. It's like you guys know it wasn't a 2-year thing, right? Like I get like the Jets had a really fast thing. Hey, what's up, Scotty? And other teams had a really fast thing. They weren't in as bad a shape as the Lions were. Let me tell you, they had a bunch of talent that they could ship off that was really cheap for a bunch of really high draft picks. And the Jets nailed their draft. Like you can't, I mean, Joe Douglas is doing a good job. As much as I hate the Jets, that guy's doing a really solid job of rebuilding that team. But I mean, dude, the Lions didn't, I mean, other than an offensive line, Matt Patricia didn't leave that team really. I mean, there's like the occasional, like, oh, that guy's all right. The AFC is going to be the toughest division. Oh yeah, it's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a nightmare. You know, it'd be hilarious though is if the Patriots just come out on top for the next like 3 years. Everyone's like, this is boring, dude. I've thought about what would be more demoralizing is if the Patriots just somehow won the AFC East again. It's just like, no. Or if the Bills lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady somehow. I'm like, man, what would be funnier? Like, everybody's kind of hyped up for Buffalo's first Super Bowl win, you know, a little bit. Everyone's like, all right, finally. And then Brady wins like fucking 42-7. Everyone's just like, man, that's fucking bullshit, dude. This fucking guy just needs to go away. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to come back for one more year. And everybody's like, fuck this. I'm just not watching next year. You know what? This guy is a demon. He's a football devil. That's what he is. Yeah, no, Chase. Yeah, I tried my best to try to keep Lions fans a little tempered on the expectations. Because, like, guys, this is a 6-win team. If everything goes right, you could maybe punch 500. You could maybe get to like 8. 6 wins is like a very good measure to get to for this team, and they can still get there, and they probably will. There's some games they'll win. Again, 5 or 6 wins. That if they hit 5-6 wins, that's a good season. That's double the wins, and they still really have a lot of questions to fill out, especially on defense. They have their offense figured out. Now, this next offseason, they should address their defense and get that fixed up. And then next year, they'll probably be a lot better. Next year is the year you can probably start putting real expectations on Campbell and the Lions, in my opinion anyway. They fixed one side of the ball this last offseason, and they got to find a fucking kicker. That's like use your 3rd round pick and just draft a guy. Like at this point, the Lions need to just draft a kicker. Like it's like, dudes, you guys, there's no good kickers left. So either go sign Destroying and see if he can still do it, or just fucking draft the best one available. Like it's just at this point you just gotta pull the trigger, because it's like, dog, there ain't no more kickers available. All the good ones are signed to like 7-year contracts now because teams have went, oh, there's a kicker shortage. It's time to draft a guy in the 3rd round. I think they're going to get like compensation picks for, I don't know, they have extra picks from Stafford. Just use one of them and draft a kicker. It's not a big deal. Look at Evan McPherson. Would you say that was a bad draft pick by the Bengals? That dude kicked them into a fucking Super Bowl. You can't tell me that having a good kicker is not important. Look at what kind of life Evan McPherson breathed into the Bengals all year last year. No, you got to have one. Like I almost want the Patriots to draft the kicker. Like I'm like, we don't actually need shit next year. Like, wait a minute. Oh, we're gonna draft a kicker finally, and I'm very excited about the probability of getting a good young kicker on my fucking team again. And I hope the Lions almost do the same, because it's like, man, like everybody always points out how much they go for it, but my dad always makes a really strong point when we talk about this. He's like, Yeah, but what are you going to do? Because my dad hates it when coaches go for it, by the way. He thinks you should always kick the points, but he's like, yeah, but have you seen the fucking kickers they got? And I'm like, you know what? If my dad's even like, yeah, I'd go for it too with the garbage kicking we have. I'm like, yeah, but why'd they cut Riley Patterson then? He could make the field goals. They should have kept that guy. I've been like, well, this is our kicker now. He's going to be the guy we kick with. I don't know. He was making them. That's literally better than what they got now. They got to see if Jack Fox can maybe hit field goals. Yeah, the decision making has got to get better. Like, Dan Campbell needs to stop going for it on his side of the field. That shit is the dumbest thing. Like, he did that. What's up, Trey? He did that the first drive against New England, and I went, well, they're gonna lose. If they play one, he's already pulling out his bag of dumb bullshit. All right, this is an easy win coming, and all the stress went out my body against the Lions. I went, all right, gonna have to see how bad the Lions and they got beat badly. It was just like, oh man. I hope he learned a little lesson from Bill Belichick in that game, though. Take the field goal sometimes, Dan. Just kick it. You know what I mean? Like I hope that was a good lesson he took. Because do you want to know the hard fact about this game? Yeah, the Patriots could have won if they hit one field goal and it would have been 3-0. That's not the hard fact. The reason that game was a blowout was because of field goals. There was 15 points off of field goals and 14 points off of touchdowns. Just remember that. They only scored 2 touchdowns. The Lions got blown out because another team just kicked field goals all day. 5 of them. Boom, 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 boom. Lions need to remember that. Keep that in their Rolodex. Like, hey, maybe taking the points ain't such a bad idea. Yeah, Goff is Goff's contract is not the Lions' fault. That's actually not on the Lions. They're like, whatever. But yeah, he's a good bridge guy. No, I agree to that, Scotty. Yeah, that's why I kind of agree. But it's like, man, they gotta figure out the kicking situation like really quickly here because like they are leaving so many. They might have they might be 500 if they could kick. Actually, who knows how some of them games go against like Seattle. Do I think Justin Fields is a bust? No, I think Chicago is a very bad situation. I think if I have my own theories about last year's draft that Mac Jones was the second pick by the Patriots, right? Like, it's like, oh, what? Yeah, I've often thought that the Patriots were hoping that Chicago didn't do what they did. And if they did what they did was to take Mac and not Justin, because I think the Patriots, with some good forethought, was like, Fields is going to fall to us at 15. Because I think the Patriots really actually did want Justin Fields because they're I think they want a more mobile core. Again, that's a different thing to think about entirely. But I often think about what happens if Justin Fields has an offensive line, somewhat decent weapons to throw the ball to. Because again, he's incredibly athletic, really strong throwing arm. Like there's like so many like positive things about this dude where it's like, man, if he wasn't on that fucking Bears team, how much better could this dude be? He's clearly like a good player, but it's like something is just so like terrible coaching. Is that the number one suspect? Yeah, we wanted to draft we were going to take him, and I fucked the Bears for doing that to us, dude. I really, really wanted Justin Fields. Bill really likes Justin Fields too. His arm is really good, and he's like, he probably throws a little better than Lamar, but I would say Lamar runs better than he does. If that all adds up. But it's not crazy amounts in either directions for either ability for either guy. Again, Lamar's probably one of the best like naturally running quarterbacks I've ever seen play football. Like it's what's up, Kenny? It's probably not really close either. Maybe Cam, but again, he's just a big dude who ran through people. It probably goes Jackson, Vic, Cam, Allen for best runners. Like most natural too. But that's a different thing. Exactly. Chicago has nothing. Their only good receiver is Darnell Mooney. And they really see, the thing is, I think Fields actually has the arm ability and like the athletic ability to make receivers get open because he could draw receivers in if he starts faking a run. So I actually don't think you need like the craziest, most talented receivers around Justin Fields. I actually think he's actually the guy that can elevate the receiver play up. But the problem is you got to give him at least one. And I think Mooney might actually be enough. And a good tight end. And a good line. Literally, the offensive line is key for Justin Fields. If the line can't block, he's fucked. It's literally like it doesn't even need to block that good. This guy's so, like he just so every time when they show the camera back at Justin Fields, we don't see this. Him dead on the field. Dude, that made me sad almost to see that every single time. It's like, oh, I can't feel good about this. I think it's funny Chicago's losing, but it's like that poor dude. Ooh, that's always a good smell, Adam. That means it's good stuff. Like, it's not fun to watch a guy like look like he got shot every single fucking play. I've never seen anything quite like that. I'm like, damn, dude, he's on the ground every play, every time he throws it. He's getting drilled. Why are they hitting him like that? At some point, you'd have to ask the defense. I'd ask the defenders, hey guys, my offensive line is dog shit. Can you not hit me so goddamn hard when you know I'm throwing it? I'll pay you $10 each. You think $10 would be a good enough? Like, come on, like just see. All right, Kenny, good luck on your video, buddy. Yeah, I think Fields. Again, had he gone to a slightly better situation, we'd be talking about Fields as a in a different light. Fields, yeah, that's another thing. Fields has unreal poise too. He just never gets rattled. He doesn't get pissy or pissed off. Like, dude, it's like, man, he needs to demand a trade and get the fuck out of there. Like he needs to desperately leave that team. Like, put Fields in Chicago or in New York on the Jets right now. Do you think that's a much different looking Justin Fields with that good run game, all those receivers, one or two offensive linemen that can actually block a guy? Like, you know what's sad is like they could trade for the Patriots Isaiah Wynn, right? Who every Patriots fan would tell you is fucking garbage, but he'd be their best lineman like almost in a decade, like instantaneously in Chicago, like that quick. It'd be like, whoa, like they'd be like, Jesus, who the fuck is this guy, and how did he just block somebody? They'd literally be having the Bears coach would be like, that's how you do that, and they'd be like, oh. We thought our goal was to just let motherfuckers run us over. Because it's baffling because, like, they drafted Tevin Jenkins. And it's like, where did that go? Why is he not playing like he did in college? Where he just fucking physically tries to fight everybody. It's like, dude, where's that mean guy from Oklahoma? The dude that looks like a nerd and just physically mauls people? What the fuck happened? Like, why is that not his like play style? I get it. Like, you can't really do that in the NFL. Like, that usually does translate into a good offensive lineman at the NFL level. Because again, guys who tend to bully people in high school and college are doing so because they face no challenge. Like, they're just like, oh, this is fun. I can one arm block people. Because again, they're an NFL left tackle or fucking offensive lineman. Like, they're just built different. Like, immediate. Like, as soon as they turn like 15, they're just monsters. What's up, Liz? How's it going? I'm friends with a guy who maybe could have been a center, but probably if he would have been allowed to play defense, who knows where he would have gone. But he was only like 5'10", so he was a little too short to play offensive line at a high level. But man, that dude was one of the biggest people I like. He's one of my good friends still to this day. He's one of the biggest fucking physical like size people, and he's like he played left tackle and basically left guard, because he'd basically like he'd go like this and he'd take two defensemen and just. And you'd see his head just, he'd be looking around all bored and shit, just pushing dudes around and then go grab another. I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, and I'm like, oh, I guess this is what like a really like different athlete looks like when they're playing dudes that are in high school. They're just like, I guess I'll just shit all over these fucking small people. But again, when you're kind of under 6 foot tall and offensive lineman, you probably don't have, you know, much of a future outside of playing center, and he wasn't good at snapping the ball. Yeah, like Chicago probably should trade for Isaiah Wynn, and give us Roquan Smith. It's a fair trade, Roquan Smith for Isaiah Wynn. Chicago really can't say no. What are you holding on to Roquan Smith? What do you just think he's cute? Is that what it is, Chicago? Is that why you don't want to give up Roquan? No, don't fucking. We don't think he's cute. What the fuck? Fucking, that's gay, dude. It's like, well, why are you not like, somebody come get Roquan Smith, give us offensive linemen. These good teams have extra offensive linemen. That's the funniest thing. Teams like the Patriots got like 6 of them, 7 offensive linemen that can play. 2 of them are probably better than most teams. It's just like I don't know. Chicago needs to have a fire sale. The Panthers need to have a fire sale. The Steelers need to consider, some of their pieces, maybe trade them. Again, we've seen like rumors that Chase Claypool might be on the trade block, so that's probably something they need to do. Like stuff like that. It's like, yeah, trade him for high draft picks. The fuck? Steelers like, oh, what are we gonna do at receiver? I don't know. Point your eyes and go like this. All right, we'll draft that receiver. Like, have they ever done bad? Look at Pickens. He's clearly going to be good once they get a real quarterback. Micah Parsons versus Sewell. What do you talk about, Parsons versus Sewell? Oh, this week? Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. Oh, boy. Well, Sewell, I don't know. Sewell's pretty good. He did all right against Matthew Judon, like all things considered. What's up, Jose? Or was he playing, or was Decker playing left tackle? Never mind. Judon lines up kind of like fucking all over the line, so never mind. He did all right. He's better than Rashawn Slater. That guy can't even, stay healthy. What a bust. Sheesh. Lions. I'm glad the Lions didn't draft that guy. To be fair, though, the Patriots are a fucking nightmare football team to deal with. Overall, though, I mean, compared to how the Browns handled Judon, I mean, the Lions did a really good job with him. I think he got a sack against you guys, but he's trying to get like a sack in every game and the whole thing. He's trying to break like the single season sacks record for the team. I don't know. I didn't know. It's weird. Like, I think like the whole team is like really down for Judon to break all the sack records. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. It's like I've never seen the team actually like embrace so heavily like individual records as they've had this year. But it's like for Judon, they're like, oh yeah, no, we're trying to break the sacks record. It's like, okay, a little different. I'm for it. Yeah, Lions have a good offensive line. What else is there really? Dak is back. Boy, oh boy, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're probably really happy to see that guy coming back, huh? Because as I predicted, against the Eagles, this is when the training wheels fell off for old Cooper Rush. It's very easy to tell when a backup quarterback needs to be pulled out, and I'm like, why? Oh, this Eagles game's going to go bad. They shouldn't have did this one. Now that's what the back the Lions should trade him before he gets hurt again. Maybe. I think with Christian McCaffrey on the trade block, it's going to be tough to deal DeAndre Swift. I don't actually. He's still on a rookie deal, so they might actually be able to. I don't know, maybe. They give the Lions just signed him to like a 10-year deal worth like $200 million. They're like, we got our quarterback. It's like, wrong position, you dumb fucks. How did you do this? And Brad Holmes is like, fuck it. We did the same thing with Todd Gurley. We shit the bed again. Drats. They say drats like it's like 1932. Can't relate. My team's Damian Harris also has a similar problem with that. That's actually why I don't think Damian Harris is going to get a long-term contract with the Patriots. And probably will have to take a pay cut if he wants to really sign anywhere. The dude is really good, right, Harris? But like he's so injury prone. Yeah, but no, I know that. My joke is that like Brad Holmes, who was part of the regime that gave fucking Todd Gurley a weird contract. No, that's a good. I mean, that's like a running back you'd expect to see in New England is a guy like DeAndre Swift. Just not as hurt because I don't think the Lions. I don't think any team in Detroit handles injuries well. I'll be honest. Fucking a whole Tigers team was hurt all fucking season. That pissed me off. That was terrible. Which is really weird because it's like, how are they so close to Michigan and have so like, the university and have like such bad like treatment of their athletes that everybody's always hurt? Like, do you know like Boston teams never deal with like any kind of like bad or like silly injuries? It's always like severe injuries because like they play so close to Harvard and like MIT, so like they hire smart people to like run their medical departments. I swear to God, every Detroit team has like some fat white guy who looks like he's never ever once done anything athletic once. Never even thought about it. Looked at a treadmill once and went, nah. And that was the most athletic thing he's ever. He's like, I thought about it. I mean, the Tigers head athletic trainer is fucking 800 pounds. Never. I don't even know if the Lions have one. They might just not operate with the medical team. I don't think they got one, to be honest. I don't know about the Red Wings and the Pistons. I don't watch those sports, so I can't help you. I just know that the Tigers got a guy that's way too fucking fat to be telling people about health. He tells them the opposite. He's like, listen, I know a secret. This is my impersonation of the Tigers and the Chargers health guys. No, you don't need a stretch. That's fucking gay. That's literally... No, stretching doesn't do anything. That's fucking fake liberal propaganda. What you need to do is get very dehydrated, drink no water. Never drink water, that shit's poison. Smoke as much as possible. Like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's clearly telling him not to, like, eat as much greasy horse shit food that gives you the carbs you need for later. That's about his advice. Is shit like that. And everyone's like, damn, everybody's always getting hurt. So yeah, because I don't think anybody knows how to stretch it on that fucking anyway, sorry about the tangent about baseball. But that's also the Chargers doctors too. They don't believe in any of that shit either. Again, the Chargers are just not a serious football team, by the way. That's why I just don't respect them, like, ever. I'm just like, yeah, what is it? Fuck them. Why should I respect them? They don't even respect themselves. Like, who keeps the doctor? Okay, so you remember when Tyrod Taylor, was it 2 years ago now? This may be year 3. This might be 3 years ago at this point. The doctor went to give Mr. Tyrod Taylor, I don't know which name he prefers. Does he go back by Tyrod now? Did he say, yeah, just call me Tyrod now? Because remember when he went on that weird like thing about, call me Tyrod Taylor, that's my actual name. And then he went, and then I think I remember recently, he's like, nah, I go by Tyrod now again. Just like, oh, okay. So it's very confusing. I don't know which one he is. But he had to get a painkiller shot to play in a game, and they stabbed him in the lung and popped his lung, basically. Remember that doctor? You'd think, oh yeah, they fired him. You'd be like, yeah, you'd 100%. There's no way they kept a fucking super inept doctor like that, right? Because, you know, it's an NFL. Like, again, mistakes happen, but they can't be happening on people worth millions of dollars. Like, if I ran a team and my doctors did that, I'd have a new doctor system. It'd be like, all you guys just got fired. What do you mean? We'll find new people. See ya. Like, it'd be like that quick to me. Like, it wouldn't even have been a game. I'd be like, we're not doing this. This is fucking stupid. But again, the Chargers are not a serious football team, and they kept that doctor. He's still their head doctor. Actually, I think he's become the head doctor. He's gone up, because I think he's like the head of like their medical department. It's like, yeah, you guys wondering why this team is just a fucking, like, everyone's always hurt. JC Jackson's not recovering from like a very minor fucking ankle surgery. Like, what's going on with like, well, why is that guy still employed? I'd have fired him immediately. They're just not serious. That's why they'll never be good, despite having all this talent. Because it's like, it can't just be a coincidence that every year everybody gets hurt on the Chargers, right? Like, there's unlucky, but then it's like, well, yeah, but I mean, that actually stops. Like, you're not unlucky 3 years in a row now. Think about that. You don't get unlucky every year dating back to when Tyrod Taylor's lung got popped in 2020. Do you think there's a correlation to that doctor being around still and everybody getting hurt? I don't. This guy's probably like, I wonder if the doctor's like a Chiefs fan and he's just like, ah ha ha. And like nobody knows it. He's like, man, no one will ever find out either. Like, he's been sent here by like the Raiders or the Chiefs or the Broncos. Yeah, this is like law, like they just don't hire like. I wonder how long the doctor's been there. Yeah, wouldn't you keep trying to find a fucking competent medical staff? To me, that just shows they put no money into fucking making sure their players stay healthy. I mean, for example, look at Hunter Henry. The dude has become a run-blocking tight end and a pass-blocking tight end of a very high level, something he admitted he didn't like doing before when he was with the Chargers, because that's where he always got hurt. And now he's done it for 7 straight games and still has no injuries dating back. Do you see the difference? Like, you can just look at certain players when they leave the Chargers and track how much healthier they are when they're somewhere else. Hunter Henry's a very solid example to use. I don't even think he's so much as been on the injury report for the Patriots. This dude lived on like missing 3 games, 4 games, 5 games a season, being on the injury report every single week as like a questionable player. Like, he'd leave games like halfway through because he got hurt. Like, it's one of them things where it's like, why do the Chargers have this like obscenely high level of player injury compared to everybody else? You know who was unlucky? The 2021 Titans. They were an unlucky football team. That was a team that just got unlucky with health. You want to know how I know that? Because the year before that and this year, they're not that banged up. Like, there's ways you can see like, oh, they're just not lucky, or if it's just like, oh, this is a bad. There's like 2 distinct sides to it. You know what I mean? You can see when a team's just, you know, they caught the injury bug versus, oh, they don't really maintain player health too well. Yeah, we're at 9 likes, about an hour in. That's pretty solid. If you haven't left a like, consider doing so. It might help the stream out. And, you know, just a solid reminder to, you know, leave a like, help the stream. But anyway, yeah, the Chargers are a perplexing, shitty football team. But yeah, Dak is back. Sounds like he's gonna play too. I can't imagine like them just being like, "Well, Dak is back. He's gonna sit on the fucking bench." Like that'd be like, "Well, that was quite a weird twist." Why are people giving Amir trouble for not reading chats? I mean, in defense of Amir, I was watching the stream. Those chats were popping up really fast. Some people can't read the chat when there's 100+ people in there typing. That shit just fucking flies by. Try someone who's had a few times 100 people in their chats. I mean, I'm built different. I read incredibly fast. So like I can read the entirety of my screen in just a quick like look at it. So it's a little, you know, like why is everyone giving him shit about that? That's weird. I don't think Amir's accustomed to having almost 200 people in his streams chatting at once. That's a lot of people, man. That fucking moving. Taking it all personal. Damn. That was crazy. JC Jackson got benched, by the way, in that game. Quarterbacks, when throwing at JC Jackson's direction, have something like a 148.4 or 148.5 passer rating. That's not good. It's one of two things, right? It's either, oh no, this is another one of the corners that are a product of the Patriot system, kind of like Logan Ryan or Malcolm Butler. Well, Malcolm Butler, not so much. Kind of, but not as much with him. But Logan Ryan, he was probably one of the worst. There's like a bunch of other examples of like decent Malcolm Butler too. I guess he's another decent example. He was way better on the Patriots. And it's looking like JC Jackson's the next guy on that list, where it's like, well, Patriots fans tried to tell everybody like this isn't that big a deal. He's a good corner, but if you don't use him in the very specific way, he's not as good as you think he is. And there's like, I think the way I remember him best used in New England is it wasn't like he's like a one-on-one corner. He gets burned quite a bit because, again, he's, I don't know, fucking, how tall is he? 5'8"? Like, I don't think he's actually that little, but he's not exactly like the tallest fucking corner out there. And his speed is really solid, especially when he closes in. But like, I think one-on-one and like just going again against like faster, like, you know what I mean? One of his strengths, though, is like if you play him as like almost this free floating corner position where you kind of don't give him like set parameters or like a set guy to cover. You just kind of let him kind of lurk, shadow, shade around in the secondary. Kind of, you know, if somebody gets wide open, then you have him fly in there and cover. Or if somebody's beating deep, you can run up top and try to get a pick. That's the way you want to use him. As almost like somebody who jumps routes and comes out of nowhere, and just let him kind of almost like a safety, basically. Just let him come and just make random ass plays out of nowhere. That's where the Patriots got the best play out of JC. That's why he got 9-10 picks a year. None of that shit was like coverage picks. It was always, where the fuck did JC Jackson come from? Because again, he's really fast, incredible. Like it's like this weird thing. If he's very susceptible to double moves. Oh god, he loses to every double move. But that's his probably number one weakness, and that's why you don't really want to play him in coverage, like direct coverage. But like once it's just like running and jumping and just pure athleticism, he's gonna beat like most people in that. Because again, incredibly fast, really good athlete. Can't do a double move though. That's you know. No, dude. It was. That's why Diggs always fucking roasted him, and that's why Gabe Davis roasts him. That's why he has like routine struggles with very specific like receivers. Just fucking toast this guy. Because he has no ability to stop a good double move receiver. And that's, I mean, Diggs is like lethal with it. It's like sad that Jack Jones is already probably better with that than JC. But again, JC's is a good story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a great player. Who he's a good player, elevated by a great system in New England, and it is a really good story too. Yeah, size is a bit of is a problem too. Hey, by the way, we're almost at double-digit likes, so if you haven't left a like, consider doing so. It'll help the stream out, make it look a little bit cooler. Anyway. Yeah, corners, I don't know. Corners aren't necessarily always the biggest guys. They're actually usually a little smaller. I want to say 5'9" isn't that crazy of a height for a corner. Which is really weird because they're usually covering some of the tallest people out there on the field. Yeah, usually that's not that big of a deal. If you're super athletic, like almost every NFL corner is, then being a little shorter isn't, you know, who cares? It's actually a kind of a disadvantage if you're a taller corner, believe it or not. For some reason, taller corners just aren't as good. They usually get moved over to safety pretty quick. Like, even Kyle Duggar being, what, like 6'3", 6'4", they're like, he's a huge safety. And it's like, yeah, that is kind of a big fucking defensive back. Why are all DBs tiny guys? Why aren't there more? Because I guess everybody, when they get a certain size, their hands just get better. I don't know. And they go play wide receiver. Or they're like, yeah, I'm pretty big. I'm going to play linebacker. This seems a little bit more fun. I don't know. They go play basketball. They're like, I'm 6'6". I'm going to go play basketball. Fuck this. Can't catch the ball. I don't know, though. Don't know why defensive backs are generally a smaller breed of people when receivers are like fucking six. Well, I guess receivers really are on the end average, like what, 6 foot to about 6'3", like roughly. Anywhere from like receivers have the most random height range. They're anywhere from like 5'8" to like about 6'5", 6'6". It's like anywhere from that height range you can be a receiver. Running back, you're almost too tall if you're Derrick Henry size, but like, you know, he's a rare exception. Quite interesting when you think about that, how like heights kind of can dictate what position you play. And like you can actually probably be too tall to play football. I think we've actually looked at this. What's up, Ven? Like, I think this is like one of the weird things we've looked up, and like there hasn't been that many tall guys to play in the NFL. Like guys like over like 6'10". It's like, damn, there's a shocking number of not very tall people. And they all play like receiver and shit. So like we were trying to figure out what LeBron would play. I think we came to the conclusion it would probably be wide receiver, tight end, or my personal guess would be quarterback, but you know, whatever. Lefty. Well, LeBron fucking shitting on people like Cam Newton. Sheesh. You guys ever seen him throw a football? Dude's got a fucking rifle on his arm. Old Goat James. Let's see Jordan throw a football. I bet you that nerd can't even throw it 20 yards. Bet you it's all wobbly and gay looking. Bet you know, old Goat James could throw perfect spiral off his back foot, probably better than Mahomes. Which is, I mean, when he's 6'10", he should be able to fucking throw a good football. It's like, yeah, Rob, that's not that impressive, dude. He's 6'10". If you can't throw it 100 yards at 6'10", that's literally some bitch shit, dude. What are you doing? Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's why. See, like I'm impressed by Josh Allen's arm strength, but it's like, isn't he like 6'5", 6'6"? Like, I'm sorry, but like, just on like, I knew a kid who was like 12, right? His name was Bart. I won't give out more of his name. This kid was 12, right? He was fucking 6'1", and he was at one of the high school camps. This kid could throw the ball like 60 yards at his age because he understood how to use his big ass fucking lanky arm like a menace. This kid was really good. He became a varsity starter as a freshman. He was really, really good. It was one of them like very quick kids to like, he just shot through the ranks of football. And again, monster arm. I don't think he went very far. He played college, but I won't reveal where he went because I don't want to like give out too much information about anybody. It's one of them things where if you like look hard enough and you like know like a little bit, you're like, oh, I can find out exactly who this is. So I don't want to like do that to him. But like, yeah, when you're a giant motherfucker, you should just be able to throw it. Yeah, I've never, and that's something nobody ever talks about. Well, Peyton was what, 6'4", 6'5"? Yeah, that was something no one ever talked. Peyton Manning sucked at throwing the football. He didn't have the craziest arm. Neither does Tom Brady. But they have something that a lot of quarterbacks don't have, where Peyton doesn't have the greatest arm, deep arm. And he throws a lot of wobbly, shitty ass looking pass. Have a good night, Adam. You stay safe, my friend. It was nice to see you. It was nice to see you. There's other things that you can do to make up for that. Like number one is like ball placement. Peyton could put a football just about anywhere he fucking wanted to. So that's maybe more important than deep arm strength. And number two is anticipation. And like understanding of like routes and where to throw the football in the route. And I think those two things can be a lot more dangerous than like just being able to whip it anywhere. It's like, yeah, you can throw it 90 yards inaccurately, or Peyton Manning could put a perfect ball only where his receiver could catch it, and the receiver has to do no work to catch the football. It's like literally just go like this and the ball should land right here. Like if you go like this with Manning, he'll throw it right there. It's just like, oh, okay. Like he'll hit you like smack dab in like the center of your hands right there. If you did that with like Mahomes or Josh Allen, it could be a little while before that ball hits you in the hand. It'll hurt when it does, but like how many throws do you think it'd take Josh Allen to hit that versus like Peyton or Brady? Well, like first throws for both of them. For Josh Allen, what are you thinking? Maybe his 4 out of 5, 4 out of 10. Yeah, Peyton's again that it's certain things like anticipation, putting the ball in certain places, making up for like not having like Allen's natural gifted arm or Rodgers' arm. Like those are freaks. Those guys. Those are abnormal arms. Yeah. I don't know. I guess Brady's kind of in a little bit below average, though. Do you know why Tom Brady can throw the football deep? And no one ever really likes to talk about this. He does have a pretty solid arm. He's insanely accurate on deep throws. Tom Brady's number one ability is to draw pass interference. It's one of the most conundrum drawing plays that I don't know how teams have not completely figured out how to stop this. No one for about 20 years now has been able to figure out how to stop the Brady like free yard play, where he just sees his receiver in one-on-one coverage and throws a comeback ball. He just throws it incredibly short. The receiver turns around and goes like this. It's like, hey, defender, what are you going to do? Are you going to give him the free catch? Are you going to give him the... It's like one of the craziest, like, it's a guaranteed catch. Like, because, like, the defender's like, oh, no, I've been beat. I didn't expect him to turn around all of a sudden. Because you think Tom Brady could just bomb it deep. Like, it's like one of those, like, the expectations of what the because like you just see the receiver, he has like look like he's not stopping, and Brady just wound up and fucking hooked it. It's like, oh my god, he's throwing a home run ball. So the defender doesn't even like stop and think like, oh wait a minute, this cocksucking piece of shit's throwing it short, and he's done this for 20 years, like consistently. Almost every single game that he needs to use it, he can pull it out and use it. It's wild how nobody has been able to figure out when he's going to do that. It's a consistent tool in the bag. A 6'10" quarterback would be absolutely fucking lethal. But also, it'd be like, what? Trying to snap the ball of that big bitch. The center's like, I don't like that the quarterback's like almost a foot taller than me. Like the center's like, it doesn't feel right. Am I even protecting this guy? Does he need us? I'd ask him, be like, hey man, listen, I'm 6'3". I don't know if I'm protecting you very well. Do you need our protection? Or would you just like to use more receivers? Like, I don't know what you need to succeed, but I doubt 5 linemen are needed at this point. I'd be like, yeah, I don't really need a left guard. You can sit down, Chubby. Yeah, no, he didn't work out very well. He worked and then he sucked. I don't know what happened. It seemed like the league figured him out pretty quick. They went, oh, yeah, okay. I think there was also another really, really tall guy out there. I don't remember who it was, but I remember another gangly-ass giant quarterback on the Broncos. And who was the other one that was really tall on the Broncos? Dude was like 800 foot tall as well. It was hilarious. The Broncos were getting all the tall quarterbacks for a little while there. One of their recent backups was also very, like, who? Not Osweiler, though. Someone recent that they just recently had on there. I don't know. They're all pretty bad. Denver hasn't had a good quarterback since John Elway. Imagine your last good quarterback being in the 90s, like the Dolphins. Oh, and you can't just be like, oh, pay me. Really? You're really going to use that guy? All right. I mean, he cheated, but okay. How did Peyton Manning cheat? I don't know. Do foreheads just grow 3 sizes? I didn't know that was possible. How do you grow your head magically like twice its size? And like, I fucking hate that. Like, Barry Bonds grows unnaturally, and everybody calls it steroids, and he's a dirty cheater. Peyton Manning's forehead grows 3 sizes a year, and nobody says a goddamn thing about it. Everyone's just like, oh, that's crazy. His head's really big, isn't it? Yeah, it wasn't that big when he got drafted. It was Eli-sized. If you don't believe me, I'll show you. You won't believe. You'll think I'm peddling propaganda. But no, that man clearly used steroids for maybe a large chunk of his career. I don't know what he was doing because he didn't put on very much muscle. But he was clearly using something. His fucking head got huge during his playing career. I'm guessing he used them to recover quickly. But, that's still cheating. You know whose head hasn't grown and actually looks like it's gotten smaller? Tom Brady. He's using anti-steroids. That's how honest and good of a guy Tom Brady is. You can't put Brady and cheater in the same sentence. We're going to change the subject now. That's the final word on that subject. No one can say anything else. It's not worth it. It's not really worth the time. Brady's never been, rightfully accused of cheating. That's who it was, Paxton Lynch. He was tall as shit too. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, he was like fucking 6'8". They're 6'7" or something. The Broncos just kept taking all these tall guys that sucked. It was really weird. Again, they haven't had a good quarterback since Elway out in Denver. It's sad. Meanwhile, the Patriots have drafted guys who start. I think the Patriots have started 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that they've drafted this season. Some teams are just built different, like the Broncos can't find quarterbacks. Patriots can't draft wide receivers, but they can draft every other position apparently several times over. Isn't that crazy that the Patriots have drafted 5 different quarterbacks that have started on NFL teams this year? It's like Brady. We'll go in order, right? Garoppolo, Brissett, Mack, Zappy. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Hoyer. Oh, shit, oh no, he's not starting anymore. I guess Mac isn't. I don't know. Mac's hard to start, but there's at least 4 different guys starting, and there's been 6 guys that Belichick. Well, I don't know if we drafted Hoyer. At least 5 guys Belichick has drafted that have started games this year in the NFL. Multiple games too for everybody except Hoyer. Meanwhile, the Broncos and the Dolphins haven't had a good quarterback since the 90s. Crazy. And the Packers haven't been without a good quarterback since the 90s. Fucking horse shit. They literally went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers so goddamn smooth, no one even really noticed that they just have never been without. It's going to be weird when they don't have, but you know, of course the next guy they fucking have at quarterback is probably going to be like all pro. It's like, yeah, what do you think? They're just magically just going to miss that quarterback somehow after hitting for 2 straight years or for 20 years? Yeah, quarter. Yeah, Jalen Hurts is looking like a guy. I was gonna talk about the Eagles next. Actually, good transition somehow. Why? This seems to always happen with a team every year that does good. They're like, oh, that guy, they haven't played anybody. I'm very tired of that argument. Very tired of that line of reasoning. You don't know if a team is good or bad because of their schedule, in my opinion, until you see their playoff performance, right? Because it's like, well, yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, that they won. Like, if they go 14-3, it's like, yeah, I mean, you could say they had an easy schedule, but it's like, I mean, they won 14 fucking games. Also, what if they go to the NFC Championship game and lose? I would say that they didn't win all them games just because they had an easy schedule. They won against playoff teams. Like, it's like one of them things where you have to kind of wait and see what a playoff success looks like before you can say, oh, that team only won because of their offensive line, or not their offensive. That's how teams win. Good offensive lines. Fucking retard. Yeah, that was a dumb statement by me. I'm pissed off at myself now a little bit. Like, damn, dude, why are you what? Damn, I distracted myself with that stupid statement. But it's like, yeah, no, of course they're winning. They're a good team. They won playoff games. They should beat the bad teams. You kind of have to look at how they're beating bad teams too. That's also very important. Looks like a lot of people might have dipped. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. My numbers have been very low the entire stream. I don't think it's gotten above 1 person the entirety of... Well, it's at 2 now, so it's gone back up to 2. But I've been having 1 person in the stream for the majority of it. My numbers will not improve on anything that's in here in front of me. It says on the VOD end that it has like 75 views. And I'm like, you fucking fooled me. I don't think that many people clicked on this stream. It says that there's been 2, maybe 1, maybe 2 people here at a time. But then again, that's not been accurate. Oh yeah, Kenny. Yeah, the Eagles seem like a much better team though, than what people are giving them credit for, especially since like all off season. Can we go back to like thinking about the off season really quick? What was the number one thing people said about the Eagles like all off season? It was literally like, well, this team's going to be really good if they get a quarter, if Jalen Hurts is a guy. Now that it seems like Jalen Hurts is a guy and the Eagles are winning a bunch of games, everyone's like, yeah, they're overrated. They actually suck. And I'm like, didn't we all agree that the Eagles were a quarterback, like the quarterback position was the only actual question mark about the Eagles? Was that like not the only thing you could look at and be like, well, who knows how the offensive line, or, you know, who knows how Hurts will play? Is he actually a guy or is he not? Like, what's a bad position group on that team? It's like one of them things where it's like, guys, Eagles are really good. It wasn't even Eagles fans that were like I was agreeing with Eagles fans. I'm like, yeah, the only thing that you guys might not have is a quarterback. And that was just more of like, because Hurts was, you know, you don't really know what you got in young quarterbacks, you know. Hurts looked promising based on a few games last year, but it was like, Is that something that he can? Is that going to be and it? He looks good. So like to me, it's one of them things where it's like, why is anybody like trying to downplay the Eagles when we spent the entire offseason saying like, man, if Hurts is good, they're going to be like one of the best teams in the NFL. Literally, I feel like that was said multiple times by like everybody, and almost everybody had the same kind of consensus feeling about the Eagles. Like, damn, that's a stacked team if if Jalen Hurts can play. That is a loaded goddamn roster. Yeah, exactly. It's literally one of them things where it's like, dude, if that quarterback's a guy, that team's ready to go. Like, that's literally, it's one of them things with the Eagles, and like they're good to go. So I just find it silly that like suddenly people are like, the Eagles aren't good. It's like, dude, 4 months ago, everybody agreed on this team being a good team if they had a quarterback. And then they got it, and then it's like, I don't know. It's like a silly thing that happens. I think people put way too much emphasis on pointing out teams with easy schedules, and I don't know why they do it to like only like it's not like they do it to every team either. That's the confusing thing. Like it's like like the Packers can, like, no offense to Packers fans, but they typically have a pretty easy schedule the last couple years. And it's like, why doesn't anyone point out the Packers' easy schedule and the fact that they lose regularly in the playoffs? Like no one ever points out that Peyton Manning benefited from an easy schedule. Like, no, it's only like, oh, the Patriots benefited from an easy schedule. The Eagles are benefiting from an easy schedule. You only hear that statement made about like teams and players, like teams people don't like usually. It's like, what are we doing? Why? Okay. Yeah, exactly. There's the duality of a mobile quarterback. I'll say the one problem with the Eagles that I've noticed is that they coast in the second half, and I don't. Yeah, no, it's a bad idea to coast, and it's a bad idea to coast. I agree. I think they got to play full football game. Yeah, he's a lot better quarterback, I would say, Hurts, than he was at least last year. I agree. Last year wasn't, he was pretty wild. The Eagles will be in there at the end by the looks of things. I'm still pretty sold on Tampa reaching the NFC Championship and winning and going to the Super Bowl and winning it. Despite all the shit with Tampa right now, you ready to count Brady out yet? Anybody starting to count old Tommy out? I'm just wondering what the general consensus is right now, so I could use this against people later on if he does good, and then pretend like this never happened if this is the end. So now I'm starting to read a bunch of stuff that he's going out sad, that he's finished. I'm starting to hear the what's the word? The buzzards are circling around. People are starting to write up their Tom is done victory things that they're seeing it fall. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is all very nice to see. So this is the kind of shit. But again, his offensive line is so poor. I don't know if his old body can handle that shit. He might get hurt. I'm a little worried about that. It's a little worrying though, man. That line in front of him is absolutely awful. And at his advanced age, I don't really see a. I bet you he misses playing in. Do you think right now he looks at the Patriots and goes, "Oh, I'd tear shit up if I was on that team. I should see if I can't get back." Because, man, if the Patriots had, man, we'd be unbeatable if we had Tom Brady. Let me tell you. If you put Tom Brady on this football team, holy fuck, we'd kill everybody. I can't even think about the horrible things we'd do to a team if we picked up Tom Brady somehow. I'd take him back right now. But you can have Bailey Zappi, Tampa. We're gonna have Tom Brady back for you. We got this great offensive line, Tom. We got all these receivers and 2 tight ends to throw to. We got running backs out the wazoo. Welcome back, dude. Help us out. Win us another Super Bowl. Piss everybody off in Buffalo. It's hilarious. Be a good time. Do you think Tampa still is a more attractive team to be on right now? Like, uh-oh, all the linemen are hurt. Everybody's hurt. That championship, them deep playoff fatigues are starting to hit in a little bit. It's a very real thing, by the way. It happens to a lot of teams in a lot of sports. One of the things that's amazing is how that never really happened in New England. I think there was just enough turnover and just enough rotationary play where the Patriots were able to avoid that to build their dynasties. But that's often the reason why you don't see dynasties in sports, by the way. Because playing that many games really fucks a body up. Like that many extra games, even if it's just like 3 a season, that cuts off what? 3, 4, like an extra 2 months of your off season that you could be getting. I don't know. Especially if you weren't like drafted into a team that's building it, like that's an active dynasty. So you're just like, that's just what your body's used to. If you've been like 8 years playing and then all of a sudden you're on a dynasty team, that's probably fucking jarring. You're going from missing the playoffs maybe or just barely making it and then being eliminated till every year you're going to the finals. That's rough. That shit has to be fucking taxing. Especially in a sport like football. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine having to play fucking 20 games every year? You're just like, oh, this is going to be brutal. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? Gotta be something you guys are thinking of. Damn, this stream's done very poorly tonight. But I don't know, something weird happened again with this one. For some reason, it went down to like 1 viewer the entire stream, and then it's like I don't know how many people are actually here. So I have no idea how many people have actually watched this stream tonight. I have no idea how it's currently doing, what the actual view count might be at. Oh, Tom yells at teammates all the time. I don't know, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, those guys got blocked better. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? But yeah, that's a bad sign. That's a sign that things in Tampa Bay aren't going so smooth. But then again, when you got Brady missing what? You get missing Brady missing walkthroughs, and it's not really seeming like he's too part of the team anymore. It's a little suspect. Yeah, Patriots players were there, but you know. Probably, yeah. I would imagine it can't be much worse than. But you know what the sad thing is like if Tampa Bay wasn't completely like injured to shit, they'd actually be solid. Yeah, they're my favorite team. What's wrong with Brady? No, his offensive line's garbage and he's 45 years old. What's he supposed to do? Magically somehow avoid pass rushers at fucking 45? Oh, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, no, we've never had a line that bad. That's fucking bad, dude. As long as I've watched football, no, we've never had something that bad. Maybe like there was like 1 year where we had a weird bad line. Like, I don't like 2010. It might have been the like first year after Menkins left. Or somebody like that. We like lost someone like super significant on the line. And like we didn't replace him. That's when you see guy. It might have been when we lost Menkins and shit and Mangold. I think we lost both of them in one off season, like really dramatically, and it like fucking shot our offensive line in the foot. I don't think that's probably what actually split their marriage up. I'm going to be pretty honest. I'm sure that there were other issues that were actually what caused the split. I know it's funny to think, but I would imagine that him going back into football was more a result of, was more like something that resulted from the split, not so much the other way around. If that makes sense. Damn, I don't think there's anybody left listening. I think you guys are the only two left. I should rip everyone's mods away and be like, you guys just don't come to enough streams. Sorry. Oh, now it's back up to 4. I can't say that tonight. It's the viewer count has been decidedly just turned random. I forgot that. Let's see. We've been live for an hour and a half. I would say about hour and 20 minutes. There's been one person on the thing. And that's clearly not been the case. Yep. That's one of the things we talked about, how there seems to be a robust trading market right now. Because again, like we were talking about it earlier, I think it's a good thing for a bunch of players to be, if you're the Panthers, Steelers, or Bears, you should probably just bare your cupboards. Like, just get rid of all those guys. What are you holding on to good players for? Like, you just fucking, we want them to waste their career in our rebuild. Like, no, get rid of them and do what the Jets and Dolphins and other teams have done. Acquire a bunch of draft capital. Don't be like the Rams. The Rams are stupid. They don't have a future. What are they going to do? How are they going to rebuild that offensive line? That's horse shit. Well, they're going to spend some money that they don't got? They're going to draft some people with the draft picks they don't got? You tell me. I'm kind of stupid. But what are they going to do to fix that offensive line in Los Angeles? Because they're not going to outbid somebody. That's for goddamn sure. Teams aren't just going to take pay cuts to go play over there for no particular reason to no fans. So again, if you're one of these bad teams, get as many picks as you can from idiot teams that are just going to give up really good draft picks to get rental players. Like, if you're the Packers, though, like, and you know you have a very limited window left with Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you could probably go with giving up next year's first-round pick or a second-round pick next year for Chase Claypool. The Chiefs got something up their sleeves. They didn't start clearing cap. Yeah, I think they're James, I'm pretty sure they're about to sign Odell. I think that's the general consensus. It's either the Chiefs or the Bills are probably landing Mr. Beckham is the general buzz. I think the Chiefs have kind of emerged as the front suitor for him, which would make a ton of sense. I mean, that's a good spot for him to go. Good spot to chase a ring with, good offense for him to fit into. You know, Mahomes needs all the help he can get. Let's be very upfront about the first thing. Like, we all know Mahomes is a pretty below average quarterback, you know. Sounds funny. Looks funny. Married a white lady, so he lost all his superpowers. Just a plethora of things that are wrong with him. But if they go get him a good receiver, he might actually be able to win something. Never know. That's all I got on Mahomes. He's, other than that, he's very he's my favorite quarterback to joke about, because people who really like Patrick Mahomes get like weirdly defensive about it, and it's like, this is my favorite thing to do. It used to be the same thing as when I made fun of Aaron Rodgers. Dude, yeah, Kelsey and fucking Odell and Mecole Hardman too. He's becoming a menace. Yeah, that's literally a nightmare. Be just as fun as trying to goddamn guard Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. Ugh. If you don't got a giant safety, good luck tonight. enjoy very much making fun of Aaron Rodgers. But then everybody started doing it, and I was like, I don't find this funny anymore. Do you know I used to actually believe, like, I used to make fun of Aaron Rodgers so much that I tricked myself into fully believing that Aaron Rodgers' middle name was Leslie. Like, I was actually stunned when I found out that wasn't his real middle name. Like, I thought I had found out a giant secret about Aaron Rodgers that nobody else had knew about. And I had just been like, you guys know I know his secret middle name. And it's just not a thing. I made that all up in my head, and I fully just started believing lore that I was making up about people. So when I decided I got to stop making fun of some people so much. I was starting to believe my own shit. I was like, wait a minute, I'm making this up. Why do I believe this story? It's like the Rain Dakota Prescott. I'm like, there's no way that's his actual name. I made that up too, right? Like, his name isn't actually Rain Dakota Prescott, right? Like, that's just a funny thing I sometimes make up. Or maybe I read that and I'm just like, that's not real. By the way, that might be Dak's real name, is Rain Dakota Prescott. That's hilarious if that's really his name. I don't fully believe it. Pretty sure I might have read that somewhere from an Eagles fan. Yeah, Juju went fucking crazy. But again, when you give him a good receiver like Mecole Hardman or like Travis Kelce, just another threat to kind of take your eyes off of him just a little bit regarding Juju, he like opens up and becomes a whole different beast of a receiver. But like if you stick him as a number one and go, we need you to be the guy, it's like. But if you can stick him in like the secondary role of the offense, it's like, all right, he can light it up. And it's nice to see him kind of, show flashes of the Juju we've seen in Pittsburgh. When he had Antonio Brown there with him, right before AB went fucking nuts. I don't know. What do we call Antonio Brown? Did he go crazy, or is he just like... He just decided he was done playing? Like what do we call that? Is he crazy, or is he very calculated and he just don't want to play football no more? It just kind of goes through like waves of being like, I kind of want to play. Never mind. Actually, this feels fucking stupid. Like what do we call Antonio? Is he crazy? Like, is he actually crazy? Is he just crazy? Is that like kind of like the consensus? He's got that CTE brain, so we're all just kind of like, hopefully he don't kill anybody. It's kind of where I am with him. I'm just kind of like, yeah, as long as he's not physically hurting anybody, he's pretty harmless. But once he starts beating on people, that's probably when you gotta, I would actually say it's pretty impressive that he hasn't been in a fight. I think he does, yeah. Well, he used to, I'm pretty sure. You could probably go with the assumption that he quit taking stuff like that. So, I don't know. What do you guys, any big topics that, I don't know. I feel like we broached a bunch of good shit in this one. But again, yeah, the main takeaway for what's going to be coming from the trade deadline, I think the trade deadline's like November 1st, is that, I don't know. Just feels like there's going to be some trades this year for once. Mainly because there's like 4 teams that are just like dead in the water. No, Chargers kind of rebounded after a pretty rough start, I would say. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey's been involved in serious trade discussions with like 7 teams want him. McCaffrey, 100%. Yeah, he's gone. There's no way he's sticking around. I would look to the following teams immediately with McCaffrey, and you can work around the contract thing with like cash over cap if you're a team like the Bills. But I think that the following teams are interested in him. I would say it's been like these are actually like reported talks with teams that have happened. The Bills are involved, the Chiefs are involved, the Rams are involved, the 49ers are involved. Who the fuck else was there? There's like a couple other people that I'm like forgetting. I'm just like blanking on. Dolphins, 100% the Dolphins were involved for whatever. Like they probably actually could use him. And there's like one other team. I can't remember. But like there's like been serious discussions with like several really good teams for McCaffrey. So yeah, he's probably going to be dealt. My guess all along has been Buffalo. But again, I forget that they're kind of cash strapped at this. They got to be running out of money at this point. It's like you guys paid Josh Allen. How the fuck you guys got all this money? Oh, okay, you don't. Oh, never mind. Okay, they're down to $1 million, so I think they're actually out of money. But there are ways to make things work. Now DJ Moore, I also see getting traded. Like, or the smart move would be to trade him because both of those guys, you might not get a first for McCaffrey due to like prior injury concerns or, you know, just a few like a few varied concerns that would come from a guy like Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion. Big contract, injury history, you know, those are the main things. So you probably won't get a first for that. DJ Moore probably nets you at least a second and something else or a first alone. And maybe a player. You could probably get a player back for one of those as well. Fix that offensive line a little more. And then you should look into trading Brian Burns. You should look into trading Shaq Thompson. Don't trade Derek Brown. Build around that guy and then just move on. And then if you're the Bears, right, you want to probably look into trading Robert Quinn. You want to look into trading Roquan Smith. I almost forgot his name. I was like, who the fuck is the main guy in Chicago? Then like the Steelers should like look around to trim. Like, yeah, you can probably throw out Claypool. You don't need him. Trade him to the Patriots for a practice squad player. That'd be fair. Yeah, the Jim Irsay finally did one good thing that I'm a fan of, by the way. Jim Irsay really made it sound like, yeah, we could get rid of Dan Snyder. So now it's like, well, if Dan Snyder stays and you guys all vote to not get rid of him. Because it made it sound like Jim Irsay was like, oh yeah, no, we got the votes to get rid of this fucking, we got the 24. We're good. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. We're probably the closest we've ever been to the Commanders being sold than we are than we've been ever during Dan Snyder's ownership of the team. I'm pretty sure like this is gonna happen within the next like year or two, that we're gonna have a new Commanders owner, and it might be Bezos. Wait, I don't know if he's allowed to own a team now though. I think since he owns Amazon, I don't think they'd let him buy a team. Do you think that'd be a weird conflict of interest situation? Wow, every Thursday night game is. It's really weird that the Commanders play every single Thursday night game. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, Anderson got traded. Yeah, that's a sick receiving core all of a sudden. Now you got Hollywood Brown when he gets back and healthy. Zach Ertz, Robbie Anderson, and fucking... Oh, Jesus Christ. And D-Hop. Sheesh. Well, now you got both of them. Now you got D-Hop and Anderson. That's literally a nightmare to have to defend. You got like DeAndre Hopkins, and then you got like DeAndre Hopkins light. You got the great value DeAndre Hopkins with Robbie Anderson. No, what's an even worse? You know how like the Mountain Lightning version? Damn, I just want a nice lemon lime soda. Where's the Mountain Dew? I thought they reported that Hollywood's not going to miss the whole season. Or is it official that he's missing the whole season now? I forgot which one it was. I thought somebody had better, like Jensen, for example, for Tampa, is expected to actually come back in December all of a sudden. If that makes sense. It's like a real thing, by the way. He might be, but I thought I saw something that said like they got like a second opinion, and it's like he could come back. It's kind of the opposite of what happened to the Lions with Jameson Williams. They don't know if he's going to play this year. Let me look at something. Yeah, hold on. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me show you something. Yeah. Here you go, Ben. Some good news for Arizona Cardinals. Wide receiver Hollywood Brown, following the MRI, his foot isn't as bad as initially thought. It's a small, non-surgical fracture, source said. Recovery time is 6 weeks. I think there's a bunch of like second opinions going on right now. I don't think they have a full idea of what's going on with Hollywood Brown's foot quite yet. Why is Randall Cunningham trending? That can't be good. Usually when somebody old from sports trends, it's either because they died or they did some pretty bad shit. It's never like former quarterback Randall Cunningham rescued a puppy from a burning bush. I don't know why it would be a puppy trapped in a burning bush. Just go with the story. It's always like former NFL quarterback found dead in a hotel room surrounded by a mountain of cocaine. It's like, damn. Went out sad. Or it's like, former NFL football player arrested. It's like, shit. This ain't gonna look so good for the Shield today. Let's see what's going on with Rappaport. See if I missed anything crazy. Hey, good for Logan Ryan. Good to see he's doing good. Oh, damn. Aaron Rodgers dealing with a right thumb injury. Wonder if he's going on IR, Ben. Looks like your guys' season's over. Oh, by the way, I'm not picking the Saints tomorrow. I have to switch off that pick. They rolled out Thomas, Landry, Lattimore, Andrews Pete. They're a good tight end. I didn't know that all those guys were hurt. I'm like, damn, dude, that's like everybody good. How the fuck are they going to even play? They're about to get toasted. They don't got a good quarterback. They ain't got their good receivers. They don't got their good corner. Their only good offensive lineman. The fuck are they about to do here? It doesn't seem like a recipe for success for the Saints. So I'm switching my pick. I can't pick them. I was going to have them be my... Oh, shit. The return of the GOAT. Some say he was destined to be in the Ghostbusters movie. Yeah, I'm out of jokes, by the way. I'm just kind of riffing right now. You can tell it's pretty bad. And I usually come in with like a few selected jokes that I've been mulling over to see if they're funny, but it's fucking pretty bad tonight. I don't got any jokes. You know what I'm also wondering? This situation. Well, the Giants aren't necessarily needing to like cut anybody or get rid of people. They're still dealing with some pretty small contracts. Oh, yeah, they're gonna try and trade those two. Not Andrew Thomas, but Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney. Wonder if those guys will be traded at the deadline. I know that you could probably trade for Galladay, but it's that contract that's going to be an albatross around that trade. But I would imagine that Tooney is very tradable if they don't like him. But then the question comes, who really wants to pay all that money to get Kenny Galladay just for him to either maybe get hurt or just underperform like he's done with the Dolphins or Giants, rather. All right, looks like this stream's about dead now. I don't know. No one's really chanting anymore either. So it's been about 5 minutes since the last time anyone spoke words. So I'm probably going to wrap her up here now. Any final thoughts from anybody? I wonder how this stream did. Oh, look. What are we thinking? Over under on total views. I'm going to guess like 60 or 70. $82 ain't bad. That's not bad. It's not good. It's not bad. Sometimes my channel really just fucks me around, man. I don't understand this. Everything else is getting massive views lately, and then there's this. Wonder if there's some truth to something. Seems like my weekly news streams are like the worst performing stream I do every single week. I wonder if it's because the word news is in the title, they kill the video. Like YouTube, it's not that big a deal. It's football. Jesus fucking Christ. Because out of all the streams I do, this happens every time I do one of these with these. It's like the video actual live numbers are suppressed. I don't never know how many people are actually watching. For example, it says 0 people are watching right now. And for, I don't know, 90% of the stream, it said 1. So it just never updated the live viewer total. Which is very strange because it never does that on any of the other streams I do, it's really weird. Very odd. I'm probably just going to retitle this as the weekly NFL show. Nah. Fine. Some more thing I'll look at. Anyway, is there anyone even watching? Hello? Hello? There might not actually be anyone here. All right, I'll just end the stream. I don't know. This is... Seems like it's dead now. All right. Have a good night, everybody.